My mill keeps buying stuff for my kids and I'm drowning in toys. I don't know if this is the right place for this because I'm new to Reddit and I've never posted. Like the title says, my mill and her sister are compulsive shoppers and keep buying toys, clothes, and overall just crap for my 3 kids. I'm not kidding when I say it's excessive. Whenever we get together, which is about once a week, they each will have at least one shopping bag full of stuff for each kid. It's mostly cheap toys and clothes, but some of it gets pretty bizarre. One of them bought my 8-year-old daughter a roadside safety kit. You can just keep it until she's old enough to drive. A bunch of action figures from adult TV shows like Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones, and a huge dog bed. We don't own a dog. The clothes are a major problem too, for 2 reasons. 1, most of them don't fit. They're either adult-sized or just not appropriate, like see-through or spaghetti strap shirts my daughters can't wear to school, or ultra-fancy dresses that are super poofy and covered in loose glitter. A few times they've given my son girls' clothes. He's no stranger to getting his sister's hand-me-downs, but I don't feel comfortable putting him in a dress. 2, my oldest daughter has sensory issues and will only wear very specific clothing, so everything they give her goes straight into the donate pile. It doesn't just stop at the weekly bags either. Neither of them should be allowed on the internet because they click on every ad shown to them. They sign up for every subscription service they can, and I have to go through the hassle of canceling them every time a new box shows up at my door. They're both widows and my kids are their only grandkids, grandnieces and nephews. They're very sweet and loving to the kids, so it's not like they're just trying to buy their love. I have tried talking to them and having my husband talk to them, and they always say they'll stop, but they never change. I've explained to them that it's like having a full-time job just returning and donating so much stuff every week. I am a Sam. I've explained that the vast majority of the stuff doesn't even stay in the house because we just don't have any room, so they're pretty much throwing away their money. I've asked them to use the money they would have spent on toys to put into a college fund or some other kind of trust, but they argue that that's no fun. I told my husband that the next step for me is to go low/no contact, but I really don't want it to come to that because I do love them dearly. I just don't know how to get through to them. I brought up going to therapy for compulsive shopping, but they are in denial. Comment: you're not going to change them. So I just use it as a teaching opportunity for the kids about charity and donating things. My BIL is similar. We just tell kiddo that he can keep one thing for every one thing he is ready to donate. Has anyone else dealt with this? I have this exact problem. We did get them to tone it down a little bit, but it took being a little rude. I told my mother to set the money aside for every kid's toy or whatever she'd be buying for us, and then at the end of a month put all the cash in an envelope and give it to us, or better yet keep it. It got a little bit better, but unfortunately a fair amount of junk still arrives. Clothes that are the right size now but won't fit when they're in season. Holiday outfits that will be too small when it comes time to wear them. Toys the kids won't play with that take up half the living room. And the worst of all, bubbles. We had a mother-in-law do the same thing. I told her I would throw them out if she kept bringing them. She thought that I was joking, but when she came again and brought toys, I literally threw them out in front of her immediately. Only 1 or 2 times of that and problem solved. So I deal with this with my own mother, 54, and Nana, 80, I'm 32. They're both compulsive shoppers and buy me clothes that are just not my style. I'd say 1 out of 20 things I end up keeping. They buy clothes that are way too huge for me, too small, buy me little accessories for such clothes, shoes too big, costume jewelry looking stuff. I have piles of clothes around my house because they're just addicted to buying things from these boutique shops. I had the same conversation with them. Save the money. I'm covered on clothes for the next year. And when the comments didn't work, I straight up asked them to stop. Then they'd resume a week or 2 later. I try not to see them for a while, but then they hand me gift bags of stuff. I can't. I'm so stressed, but I decided it wasn't worth the stress. They're getting older, and I just want them to be happy, despite the crap spending habits. I accept everything with a smile these days, and donate it when I come home if it's something I really can't wear or use. I would rather their years be spent happy gift giving than me fighting with them over these things. If this is how they're gonna spend their money, they may as well be writing checks to Goodwill at this point. I'm sorry I'm dealing with the same thing and have given up. That's where I'm at in the battle, pretty much donating or ridding of it all like you. Next story 2. I don't like when my boyfriend says he loves me. How do I stop feeling irritated when he says it to me? To start, I and my boyfriend have been together for almost 2 years. We went to high school together, and our families live in the same area, but he goes to college several hours away, and I commute to my college. Most of our relationship has been long distance, the exceptions being when he is home from school on winter/summer break or when he took a semester-long leave of absence. He makes me feel safe and loved, and I love him very much. However, for a while I've found myself dreading spending time with him. He's been up at school this summer, so I haven't seen him in several months. When we do hang out, it's over Discord, and we usually watch something together. While we watch things, he has this tendency to say I love you whenever it's quiet. Every time he does, he just sounds so pathetic and sheepish to me. It's often barely above a whisper and it just feels so unnecessary to me. I feel almost disgusted by it, like it gives me the ick if you get that. I understand I sound ungrateful as hell, and I feel ungrateful as hell. I am beyond happy to have somebody who loves me. I just really hate having to say it back. He'll say it, and I'll stay silent, and he'll say it again a few minutes later, and keep doing that until I say it back. I end up feeling obligated to say it back, and I have told him this before, but to no avail. I am somebody who prefers actions over words, and I am a huge romantic, but I understand the distance makes it so that this is maybe all he can do. However, I feel like I have made much greater efforts to show my affection for him, sending him gifts and handwritten love letters, spending hundreds of dollars to ship him homemade baked goods, going out of my comfort zone to play video games he likes, etc., and I feel like I get so little in return. If I bring it up, he says he knows he hasn't been paying me enough attention or doing enough for me, and that he'll work on it. We're 2 years in and I am too close to the situation to tell if he's really been working on it and just making slow progress or if progress hasn't been made at all. I wish I felt like he really loved me when he said it and that it wasn't just a bunch of mush falling from his lips in an attempt at a long-distance romantic moment. He knows I don't like it when he says I love you a lot, but it still happens, and so I feel like I'm at fault here. How can I be more accepting of his love, and not get so irritated when he says he loves me? I am happy to provide additional information or context if it's needed. I've never done this before, so I don't really know if I've provided enough. Comment. So you don't like spending time with him and don't like hearing him tell you he loves you. I think you should take some time to actually think about the deeper reasons why you feel that way instead of trying to push your emotions down. I do think it sounds like he is big on verbally communicating his affection more so than with gifts, actions, etc., so your emotional needs may just not be compatible. Honestly though, it doesn't sound to me like you particularly like dating him specifically as much as you like the idea of being with him/having a boyfriend. This should be enough to tell you that you need to break up with him. One of the few benefits of being in a long-distance relationship is that you get to build up anticipation to see each other, and you're not even getting that benefit. If you can hardly even tolerate the little time you spend with each other now, how are you going to have a future with him? Travel with him? Live with him? Move on from this. The longer you drag out this relationship, the more it's going to hurt when it ends. I know you're young and the thought of that is probably really scary, but you clearly aren't compatible with this guy. It sounds like you have distanced yourself emotionally from him, probably without meaning to. Like you have fallen out of love with him. Is this true? You should have an honest conversation with yourself about that relationship. Also, It sounds like you guys have different love languages. If you don't know the term, I suggest Googling it, and taking the test, if you are interested. That concept isn't the pinnacle of wisdom when it comes to communication, but it has value in helping you to understand different perspectives and communication styles. I'm not sure to what degree this is a love issue and to what degree it is a communication style issue, but it sounds like some combination of the two. Either way, good luck, op. As someone whose top love language is words of affirmation, that may be something that your boyfriend has too. An early ex of mine absolutely got on my case about saying it so often, but hearing the words "I love you" made me so much happier than receiving gifts or physical touch. Obviously we didn't last, but my current partner has been very understanding and always says it back to me, even if he knows I say it too much to begin with. Take a step back and look into the love language quiz. It'll help you to understand each other better. You care about each other, and learning to communicate and express each other's love language will vastly help your relationship.